Today I'm going to talk about my data management culminating activity, which topic is effect of COVID-19 on unemployment. And the contents are introduction, hypothesis, population and sample, data analysis and conclusion. Introduction. Coronavirus disease, which is COVID-19, is an infectious disease that can lead to death. The reason for choosing this topic is because it is an issue that is affecting us nowadays. The coronavirus hit the United States in mid-March, and cases started to soar at an alarming rate. The pandemic of coronavirus COVID-19 had brought severe consequences to the public, and unemployment is one of the effects of COVID-19. I would like to discover the relationship of the pandemic and the unemployment rate during the year of 2020. The question I formulated for my culminating activity is that does the pandemic of coronavirus COVID-19 results in increasing the unemployment rate in the United States during the year of 2020? I believe that the pandemic of coronavirus leads to a higher unemployment rate in the United States, while there's an increase on cases of COVID-19. I consider that COVID-19 caused a lot of businesses going to bankrupt, which caused a higher unemployment rate. Also, nowadays it is difficult going to work, so the number of employees might decrease as well. Population and sample. The independent variable of this culminating activity is the cases of COVID-19 in the United States. I took the cases of COVID-19 during the year of 2020 on the United States by monthly, which started on mid-March. The dependent variable of this culminating activity is the unemployment rate in the United States. I took data of unemployed people of the United States of the year of 2020 from both sexes and over 16 years old. Data analysis. From this chart, we can see the cases of COVID-19 on the United States during the year of 2020. On March, there were 200,000 of cases, and on April there were 800,000. And we can see the peak of nowadays that in December we got 5,700,000 of cases. Here are some of my calculations about central tendency, dispersion, and identifying the outliers. We can see that there is an outliner in the independent variable, which is the cases of COVID-19 in the United States, since the data exceeds the range of 3,200,000. This is a chart of unemployment rate in the United States from the year of 1990 to the year of 2019. We can see that during 2018 and 2019, the unemployment rate has maintained below 4%, which is exactly 3.8% and 3.9%. And even on January and February of 2020, the unemployment rate was on 3.5%. Here we move to the next chart, which shows the unemployed people on the United States of 2020. It started at March, since COVID-19 hit at March. We can notice here that on March there was a 4.4% of unemployment rate, and at April it is when it reached its peak, which is 14.8%, and it goes decreasing until October. It was stable to 6.9%, and on December it was at 6.7%. Here are some of my calculations about central tendency, dispersion, and identifying the outliers of the dependent variable. And here, there is no outliner in the dependent variable, since all the data are located in the range. Here we have a scatter plot, which the x-axis represents the cases of COVID-19 and the y-axis represents the number of unemployed people. From the results of the correlation coefficient, it can seem that there is a weak negative correlation between the independent and dependent variables. This means that when the independent variable, which is the cases of COVID-19, increases, the dependent variable, which is the unemployment rate on the United States, it goes down instead of going higher, which is the opposite from my hypothesis. Conclusion. In the final analysis, there is a weak negative correlation between the increases of cases of COVID-19 on the United States, which is the independent variable, and the unemployment rate on the United States during the pandemic, which is the dependent variable. It shows an opposite result than the hypothesis, which I believe that an increase of cases of COVID-19 would bring a higher unemployment rate. Though the pandemic in the United States is getting worse, but from the data we can see that people are not getting affected by COVID-19 at the aspect of unemployment. We can say that people are having planned for it and are getting used to it. There was a peak of unemployment rate at April of 2020, when the pandemic recently started. We can say that at that time people are not ready for it, but now, since the unemployment rate goes down, we can say that people are working hard to decrease the effects of the COVID-19. The insufficient data of unemployment rate made the investigation became a little bit difficult, since it showed data by month, and the independent variable, which is the cases of COVID-19, can be shown by day and by week. The data are took from governmental sources, which are very reliable. But since the pandemic has a short history, we can't do an annual analysis. A weekly analysis might be a better choice, but since the data of the unemployment rate is insufficient, I couldn't do that. And that's one of the issues that could have affected the results. And that's the end of my culminating activity. Hope you liked it. Thank you.